Hello, ma'am. Today's virtual discussion, I and my companion will discuss to you the manuscript, our research manuscript entitled The Level of Awareness on Expanded Anti-Trafficking in Person Act of 2003 among Barangay Captain of Davao City. So, human trafficking. So first, let's tackle the problem and its settings. So human trafficking is a social equity issue that is influence all people in any age of all around the planet. Individuals are being held with force to have intercourse with others to sustain their necessity. This is not accepted ethical of base. However, it is likewise one of the most exceeding awful violations somebody can submit. Human trafficking issues are very rampant that every corner of the globe affects this form of crime against person, in which it is very life-threatening that it needs to be monitored and aware of how and when it could occur. Forced migration, including traffic in person, often called modern form of slavery, is cause of different reasons to be involved with, such as generating huge profit, and basically it is a complication that government must address. So in Republic Act 9208 or the Anti-Trafficking Act in Person of 2003, an act is to institute policies to eliminate traffic in person, especially women and children, establishing the necessary institutional mechanism for the protection and support of trafficked persons, providing penalties for its violations, and for other. Eventually, human trafficking is a very alarming concern in the society that it can cause vulnerability not only to who are involved with, but among other interested in living. So in order to eradicate and subside this widespread form of prevailing human trafficking, the government create a law that can subsequently establish a strong advocacy that can last and cease the occurrence of human trafficking and raise awareness of the society, and especially for those officials that is responsible for the implementing the act. In Philippines, Indonesia, and Sri Lanka, which is part of the South Asia, has a corresponding rate of 44% according to SLONIC 2013. Philippines is one of the producers in terms of exploiting people around the globe. The Davao City has a 182 barangay, which it is a small community that consists of a lot of people. We need to know how the barangays action and how they implement the expanded Anti-Trafficking Act of 2003 if they are active and implementing those protocols that state in the law. In this research, we designated the level of awareness of the barangay captain in Davao City towards the Anti-Trafficking in Person Act of 2003. In terms of knowledge and how they view this as to how they going to manage to regulate the law in order to control the occurring crime. Secondly, statement of the problem. The aim of this study is to know the barangay officials' awareness of the expanded anti-trafficking law and how they implement this to their jurisdictions. Next is hypothesis. The null hypothesis will be tested at 0.05 level of significance, which states that there is no significant relationship between the awareness and the expanded Anti-Trafficking Act in Person of 2003 as perceived by the Davao City Barangay Captains. So, let's go now to the review of related literature. So in international, according to Grab and Benny 2012, human trafficking represents one of the largest crime enterprises worldwide. International anti-trafficking efforts depends on the cooperation of individual government to incorporate anti-trafficking measures within all levels of law enforcement. A large number of dollars have been appropriated for preparing an awareness program inside the USA. Exploration demonstrates, nonetheless, that there might be an absence of illegal exploitation awareness and preparing among nearby and state law enforcement organizations. Discovering from view inside the state of Georgia uphold through the preparation and awareness activities may not arrive in neighborhood partners. So, in national study, this study looked into how the United States Agency for International Development, or the USAID, strengthens the Philippine campaign against human trafficking, act as a smart power projection tools for the United States, and reinforce the US pivot to Asia. According to the interview NGOs, the USAID provides technical assistance to them to provide seminars, trainings, and workshops to the NGO staff that can equip this member with sufficient knowledge and expertise regarding the issue of human trafficking. The NGO staff members are immersed in rigorous training for them to be competent and capable enough to share their acquired knowledge and skills to their respective communities. However, Bilicio, or an organization, said that the staff members who were trained personally by the USAID are then sent to different locations, to which the organization is assigned to and are tasked to share and apply their acquired knowledge and skills. Aside from the Bilicio organization, like Prenda, Foundation 43 Tion, INC, Prenda, CLB, Tambayan, and others have also received training, seminars, and other activities for the USAID. Similarly, after the receipt of their training from the USAID, these organizations share their acquired knowledge to important sectors in their community. For example, the CLB has mentioned that the USAID has provided both technical and financial assistance for the organization's project. CLB state that they inculcate their acquired knowledge to the responsible authorities, such as barangay officials and police officers of their areas, so that these authorities know how to use their capability and authority to proper address cases of human trafficking. Hence, the CLB also work with the authority of the community in order to further expand the information drive on the issue of human trafficking. Therefore, through the USAID training, seminar, and workshop, the United States is able to spread the inculcate among the Philippine NGOs their means and ways of combating human trafficking, and non-coercively generate support and cooperation for the Philippines against human trafficking. The USAID has been provided both financial and technical assistance for the four approved USD fund NGOs project. First is Bilicio, withdrawing and preventing child and youth people from trafficking and commercial sexual exploitation in a post-disaster Yolanda. In addition, Bilicio state that they also coordinate with LGUs or barangay to get necessary data for their project. So lastly, in local study, in 2000, the De La Salle University chose the city of Iloilo and Davao for a participatory action research of Filipino men in domestic violence. According to Iligan 2009, Davao City, with its population of 1.3 million and counting, for almost a quarter of the resident population in the resource Davao region, is the regional center of Philippine South. In the last few years, the prestigious Asian Week magazine has consistently ranked it among the most livable city in Asia. Local government has long prioritized gender and reproductive health, or RH, issues. Davao City has the qualification of having been the primary LGU to receive a Women and Children Code in 1997, generating interoperability between open assistance establishment, NGOs, and ladies and kid right branches describe Davao City reaction to sexual orientation, disparity, and injustice. Today, Davao City keeps on getting things started in working out manners to address aggressive behavior and home and sex disparity through a local areas based pilot project that also to upgrade male inclusion against all form of gender-based violence, understanding of health issues, implementation of relevant health program, and improvement of people awareness and participation. The HMRG was additionally entrusted to be embraced, preparing and guiding for men in the barangay who were recognized to be caught in the pattern of aggressive behavior at home.
So let's go to the theoretical framework and conceptual framework of a research study. So theoretical framework, according to Kendra Cherry 2020 on Freud psychoanalytic theory, the human consciousness is divided into three levels of awareness, which is the conscious, pre-conscious or subconscious, and the unconscious mind. So the conscious mind consists of what we are aware of any given point in time. It includes the things that we are thinking about right now, and if we aware of it, then it is the conscious mind. So subconscious mind holds information that is just below the surface of awareness. An individual can retrieve such information with relative ease, and we usually refer this as memories. So, lastly, is the unconscious. This is made up of thoughts, memories, and primitive instinctual desires that are buried deep within ourselves, far below our conscious awareness. Even though we're not aware of their existence, they have a significant influence on our behavior. So let's go to the conceptual framework, which is our independent variable is the level of awareness, and the dependent variable is the expanded on Anti-Trafficking Act of 2003. So let's go to the significance of the study. This entitled Level of Awareness and Expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003 among barangay captains of Davao City is being created for the benefits of the following. First is the barangay captains. Barangay captains gain knowledge about the problem and for them to understand the victims that is engaged of various abuses and also for them to resolve it more easily. So second is for our future researchers in order to them to gain insight that would support their future studies. So let's go to the chapter 2, the methods. First is the research design. The research design that we use is the descriptive correlational method of research, which is according to Frankel 2003, descriptive correlational research is used to determine the extent to which different variables are related to each other in the population of interest. So, this kind of research present condition concerning the nature to determine the significant relationship of two or more variables. So, the methods as used to determine the significance relationship of awareness and the expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003 as perceived by Davao City Barangay Captains. So, the next method is going to discuss by Miss Partulan.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Rosella Ampartulan, and I am the one who is assigned to discuss the research subject, research instrument, data gathering procedure, and the statistical treatment of data. So, the research subject. This research will use random sampling method in surveying by disseminating the questionnaire. So, in our research subject, we the researchers are going to collect informations from or about individuals to help answer our given questions under our study. And among 182 barangays in Davao City, we will select a 20 barangay captains to be our respondents in this research. So let's proceed to research instrument. So we have here self-made questionnaires. We, the researchers, are going to make a structured form that consists of a series of closed-ended and open-ended questions. And we will also use a 5-point scale. A 5-point scale will help us to interpret our respondents' responses on the awareness on expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003, as perceived by Davao City's barangay captains. In our final draft, it will be submitted to our advisor for checking and submitted to the panel of experts for validation. And as you can see in the PowerPoint, there is a chart that consists a range of means, the verbal meaning, and the descriptive interpretation. So when the range of mean is 4.20 up to 5, it is considered as very high. This means that the Barangay Captain Awareness on Expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003 are always manifested. So, when the range of mean is 3.40 up to 4.19, it is considered as high. It means that the Barangay Captain Awareness on Expanded Anti-Trafficking on Persons Act of 2003 is manifested. When the range of means is 2.60 up to 3.39, it is considered as moderate. This means that the Barangay Captain Awareness on Expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003 are sometimes manifested. When the range of mean is 1.80 up to 2.59, it is considered as low. This means that the Barangay Captain Awareness on Expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003 are rarely manifested. And when the range of mean is 1 up to 1.79, it is considered as very low. This means that the Barangay Captain Awareness on Expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003 are never manifested. And now we will proceed to the data gathering procedure. So in data gathering procedure, we are going to collect data, measuring and analyzing accurate insights for research using standard validated techniques. In data gathering, we are going to observe the following. First is seeking permission to conduct the study. As a researcher, we will make a letter that is duly noted by the Dean and we will send it to each barangay in Davao City for approval of conducting a study. Second, administration and retrieval of the research instrument. We, the researchers, are going to distribute the survey questionnaire in our respondents randomly. We will also visiting barangay captains in Davao City. Collation of data. In collation of data, we are going to collect the answered questionnaire, calculate and arrange the data. Analysis of data. In analyzing data, we will systematically applying statistical and logical techniques to describe and illustrate, condense, and recap, and evaluate the data. We will analyze for patterns in observation through the entire data, and the result of the data will be gathered and subjected for analysis with the assistance of statistician. Statistical treatment of data. Statistical treatment is when you apply a statistical method to a data set to draw meaning from it. And the gathered data will be classified, analyzed, and interpreted by using the following statistical tool. First, the frequency and percentage. The percentage is calculated by taking the frequency in category divided by the total number of participants. This will be used to determine the profile of the respondents. Lastly is the Pearson's R. This will help us measure the relationship between two continuous variables. And this will also help us determine the significance relationship between the awareness on the expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003 as perceived by Davao City Barangay Captains.